Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. There seems to be an increasing awareness that we spend far too much time now looking down at our screens. And I was chatting with a few friends recently who were comparing Apple screen time results on their phone. And yes, I'm guilty. I smiled smugly as my phone display showed around 35 minutes a day, I think it was. But confession time, what that doesn't tell you is that I am face down in a laptop for 15 hours a day, writing articles and editing podcasts and managing all those pesky notifications. The fact is, we all know that there is a slight problem with our screens and love of technology. But what about our kids? And how is it affecting them? I mean, for many people listening, they will remember a time before phones and spending endless summer nights going for walks and climbing trees and all other kinds of mischief. But we're now entering a time where many children cannot remember a time before the iPhone. If that doesn't make you feel old, nothing will. So today, I want to talk with Isaac and Kerry about Goya-Move. Now, Goya-Move is focused on kids' health and tech addiction. So excessive screen time, poor activity levels as a result of mobile devices can all be solved by incorporating health and wellness programs and encouragement in households and schools. And going a step beyond parental controls or banning devices or, say, taking devices away from children, and simply encouraging and motivating kids with step tracking. It's a great topic, and I'm genuinely interested what they have to say here, especially as many people from all over the world would have spent the holiday season in the heart of their family, only to find a room full of people staring down at their phones. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to California, where I'm going to speak with Isaac and Kerry, who are going to tell me all about Goya-Move. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure. My name is Isaac Renneberg. I am the co-founder and president of Goya-Move, and with me here also is the other half, Kerry Mackey.
Hello.
And we are the founders of Goya-Move, the Goya-Move app. Goya-Move stands for, well, the word Goya stands for Get Off Your Apps. And we developed an app to get kids not only off of their cell phones and to give them a break from technology, but we also get them motivated to moving again, to get them outside, moving and exercising. So we took, the words parental control and as you'll hear in the show, we took it a step further.
Now, before we go into a little bit more detail on this, I suppose for some people listening, they'll immediately think, so you've created an app to stop people using apps. Is that something that you get a lot?
That is exactly correct. And to be fair here, we're not trying to get kids to really get off their apps. Technology isn't going anywhere. And our cell phones are only going to get bigger, better, and brighter to use, and so forth. So our goal here is actually just to give parents tools to teach kids about screen time moderation and teach the kids about accountability as well.
Fantastic. So just to set the scene, with Goya-Move, you're focused on kids' health and tech addiction. But what put you on this path and what made you want to do something about it? Was it due to your own experiences with kids, or was there something else that was the spark for the inspiration?
Well, Isaac and I actually together have 6 children. Wow. And although our kids are fabulous, they do well in school, they participate in extracurricular activities, we were watching them take any of their free time and stick their heads directly into their phones. And it became a concern in our household. And all of a sudden we realized it wasn't just us. The conversation was happening in other families as well. And so that is where the beginning of this app came from. We wanted to make a change in our house as well as across the U.S. and beyond.
And it's a fantastic idea, it really is. But from what I've seen out and about here in the UK and in the US, parents are as bad as kids sometimes. We've all seen kids trying to get the attention of their parents, desperately trying to get their attention, and they're just face down in a screen themselves. As parents, do you try and curb your activity as well?
Absolutely. We are actually very active parents. We like to exercise. We go to the gym often. We like to go on hikes, and we want to encourage the kids to do the same. Listen, as our childhood, as we were all growing up, decades ago, we didn't have this kind of problem, and we were forced to socialize, and we, learned our point of navigation, like how to get around and so forth. Kids today don't really get that anymore. It's all, I have a friend in Ohio, or I have a friend in Pakistan. What do you mean you have a friend in Ohio? What about the local kids? And that's what we're finding is that the kids don't, their social interaction is just completely different, and it needs to stay more localized within your community.
I completely agree, and as an adult, I miss those days of going rogue, completely going offline where there's no notifications. When you remember a time before that, you want it back, don't you?
Right. I asked one of my boys, I said, "Do you even know how to climb a tree? Have you ever climbed a tree?"
Now, according to an infamous article by Alice Thompson in the Times here in the UK, I don't know if you've seen this, but people that create the technology that we love, such as Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and the late Steve Jobs, all famously limit the use of kids' access to technology. And deep inside Silicon Valley, the Waldorf School, where tech leaders send their kids, is also famous for banning electronic devices for under 11s and teaching children of tech leaders to go make go-karts, knit and cook and other kind of life skills. I mean, that alone is quite revealing, isn't it?
It really is, and it's something that our kids really need to, not just because you're a tech leader and you can see the damages and the repercussions that'll happen from these, from the use of tech, but we're more along the lines of helping parents not punish their children. We're not in this to say you can't do this and you can't have this, and we're not taking anything away. What we're doing is we're giving parents that tool of how to communicate with their kids and how to help them, motivate them to reward their screen time. But what we found was that it's that initial push that the kids need to actually get outside and get to play, because once they do, it's actually really hard to get them back in, and that was our whole goal.
Now, I'm curious, what kind of problems have you seen as a result of excessive screen time, and how do these programs manifest themselves for any parents listening who, as you go through them in a moment, I'm sure they've been nodding in their head going, yep, ticking them off.
So we have lots of problems, right? I mean, just the whole being able to socially communicate with other people, if face to face, that's a really big issue that we have found. Additionally, the whole health problem of diabetes and obesity is so on the rise. We have doctors that we have worked with when we've done the research that were telling us that children's diabetes is so high that it could be the number one health risk for children these days, and that just shouldn't happen for kids that young.
And there is an increasing awareness of our addiction to screen time now, of all ages. And Apple, as a result, have recently introduced methods to monitor our usage. But can you tell me what makes Goya-Move different and how it's going to step beyond parental controls and actually encouraging and motivating kids with step tracking?
So this is where we took parental control, and we'll use it in quotes, a step further. Apple did a great job, and there are lots of great companies out there that tell you, well, you've been using the phone for 9 hours this week, or you used the phone for 9 hours this day, which is actually more of what it is. But when you block, when you take away and you say you can't have this from X time till X time, there's a lot of rebellion with the kids. The kids aren't happy. There's a lot of door slamming. There's a lot of yelling. It's essentially taking the phone away. With our app, we encourage kids to move. The parent sets a daily step goal for the child. I would like you to take 5,000, 10,000, whatever steps you'd like your child to make in a day. And then we let the parents choose which apps that the kids like to use and reward the kids back for taking those steps. So that's where we kind of differentiated ourselves. We encourage kids to move. We don't say you can't have this, you can't do this. We say, sure, go ahead, take the phone, take it outside with you, get those steps in, take your selfie, post to Snapchat, but keep moving. And that whole movement is what separates us from everyone else.
Fantastic. What a great idea. So for any parents that are interested, especially having spent time with their kids over the holiday period and seeing everyone face down in their phones, can you just walk them through how easy it is to get up and running with Goya-Move?
Oh, it is so simple. The app gets loaded on both the parent phone and the child phone with a parent account. The parent then has you create an account, and then you simply choose how many steps you'd like your child to make in a day. And if you have multiple children, the dashboard will show all of your kids. You simply choose how many hours in a day, how many steps you'd like your child to make in a day. You can break it down by hour if you wanted to make it more goal obtainable. And from there, you actually get an insight to all the apps that are on your kid's phone. So there's a kind of double purpose here. As a parent, you should also want to see what the kids have on their phones, and this app lets you do that. You can see their apps. And then from there, you can select which apps to, we'll use the word block, but to manage until those step credits are made. Once you do that, within milliseconds, it gets kicked over to the child's phone. The child's phone has access to a step counter, the Goya-Move step counter, which shows you their goals. And once they hit their goals, the apps that the parent chooses unlocks on their own. And so the app, it recycles itself. It starts over every hour. On the top of every hour, it locks the apps again, and then you just set it and forget it. It keeps going over and over. There's also other features like blackout time. If there's times where your child should be doing homework, let's say 3 hours of homework, you can actually black out that overrides the steps. So that, and you can choose which apps get blocked. So, for example, if they need to use Google Docs, or if they need to use, like a school program, you can keep those open, but block the Fortnite and the Snapchats, etc.
So we will have people listening all over the world. Is this available in all app stores, or is it region specific at the moment?
So right now it is available in the Android store. We have been working with Apple. Recently, Apple has put a kibosh on parental control apps that use MDM technology. So we just created a new version of the app to get it back onto the App Store, and we're waiting for the approval.
Fantastic. So do you have any use cases of how people are using Goya-Move and how it's actually increased awareness of their tech usage and also helped remove some of those bad habits that lead to addiction?
We have a great story. We have an 11-year-old who has the app on his phone, and we needed to take him to a doctor's appointment. It was in a high-rise building. We went to the elevator, and before we could get on, he turned to me and said, can we take the stairs? I need to get my steps in. So it was an automatic, we got it. He's got the idea, he understands it, and that's a lifestyle change.
Wow. And I also believe, are you guys going to CES this year? I mean, is that your first visit? And what do you think the secret is to standing out and getting your message heard out there?
We are going to CES. This is going to be our first time at CES, and we're hoping to actually network with a lot of people and companies out there because with the popularity and our international growth rate, we're looking for new partners and new ideas. We have lots of brilliant ways of scaling the app that we'd like to work with partners, and we figured CES would be the place to do it.
So what are your big goals for both your time at CES and 2019 and Goya-Move?
Definitely, both the goals interact with each other. We want to scale this app. We want to make it even more fun for the parents and the kids to use. We want to gamify it. We want to make sure that it gets on all kids' handsets that are getting new phones. With the holidays, so many kids get new phones these days, and if it's their first phone, parents can tell them, "Hey, this is how it is. If you want to use the phone, you just got to move." It's really a great addition on all handsets that get put into a child's hand.
Well, a huge thank you for coming on today and sharing your story. But before I do let you go, can you just remind the listeners of where they can find you at CES, if you've got a booth number yet, and also contact either of you if they've got any questions or just want to find out more information about Goya-Move?
Absolutely. So first off, you can visit our website at www.goyamove.com. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our handle is Goya-Move. We haven't received our CES booth number yet. We hope to get that really soon, but we will be there.
Well, a huge thanks again for coming on. I love what you're doing here. I love the fact that you're not banning devices or saying devices are bad.
Exactly.
Just encouraging people to move more and interact with
Exactly.
people more. And that is the beauty of it. So I'd love to stay in touch with you. Let's see how you get on at CES and also follow your journey next year, and hopefully we'll catch up later. But a big thank you for both of you for coming on today. I appreciate it.
Neil, thank you so much. We're really excited to have talked to you today.
Thank you.
My big takeaway from today's episode is just how polarised we are as a society now, and some kind of binary thinking going on. Because we all know people that are permanently face down in their devices, and equally others that say all smartphones are evil, ban them or stop your kids from using them. How about we just meet halfway? We encourage our children to keep moving and exercise and also interact with people face to face and just limit their screen usage, not remove it. What a great concept. But if we do have any parents listening, I'd love to hear how you get on if you install Goya-Move onto your kids' devices. And I want to hear about their initial reaction and probably doom and gloom and the odd tantrum, and then how their behaviour changes within a few weeks of it all. This is something that I'm genuinely interested in. So please remember to come back and share those experiences with Goya-Move, and I'll share them on a future episode of this show. And I'm also interested in how Isaac and Kerry get on at CES, and I've got a feeling we'll be hearing about them again later this year. As for everyone listening, remember, email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, tweet me at Neil C. Hughes. But right now, I feel inspired to step away from my laptop screen and get run number 2 of 2019 out of the way, because like Kerry and Isaac says, it is all about balance. But that's it for today's episode, so a big thank you for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.